So I went on a pretty wild hair journey the last year, and I'm going to make a video about it. And if you want to see, I have a lot of professional pictures of my progress along the way because I'm a photographer, so I have a studio. So I'm going to take you kind of through my journey, and you'll also see, full 360 pictures of each version of this mullet I had and leading up to the rat tails that I have now. I'm talking into the microphone so that the audio is a little bit better. It's fun. So let me just try and do this in one take here. It started out with this picture that I'll show here. I just thought it would be cool to have a modern mullet. It just looked kind of cool. I like long hair, but I always hate having to handle it, and my hair is curly and thin, and it always gets greasy, and so I like it, but then when it gets long and it's in your face and all this shit, so I was like, I'll try that. And I made a video, which I'll play now, with this modern mullet.
Business in the front, party in the back. Kentucky waterfall, Mississippi mud flap. That denim downhill or Tennessee top hat. Missouri compromise, I got that shorty long back. It can be smaller or bigger, I ain't a stickler. It ranges from mini mullets to Florida, Georgia spine ticklers. I always let it dangle, no I don't let it tangle. So baby, if you're single, come and get a better angle. If you're sexy and you know it, run your fingers through it, pull it, yeah you know.
So that shows, I took the picture to the barber and I said, I want this. Honestly, I think she kind of messed up. It looked good with the product in it, but without, maybe you could tell it kind of looked not good. So I had that for a while. I had a few different haircuts, different versions of that kind of short, modern mullet, a little faded on the sides, a little bit longer in the back, nothing too crazy. And then I was working up towards seeing what a longer mullet would look like. And here's an Instagram video I made when it got a little bit longer. So people are wondering, why get a mullet? And it's, to me, I think obvious, but I guess not. You get the perks, the benefits of having beautiful long hair. So then I was just obsessing about it because I actually liked it. I thought I would just try it out, do it for a little bit, and have that shorter one. But having the shorter in front and longer in the back, it was like the best of both worlds. And then I wanted to go a little bit longer. And what the shocking part was, too, with this shorter version of it, nobody really noticed too much, or I guess it wasn't as shocking for people to be like, oh, what are you doing? You got a mullet. Some people saw it a little bit and they're like, oh, cool. But it wasn't, I guess, as jarring. But we're building up to that. So then I see some of these pictures, like Mel Gibson. I'll show a couple other ones of, they're technically mullets, like more 80s, 90s kind of version, but you wouldn't really notice. It's a little shorter in the front, but it's still kind of like long hair and then longer in the back, but it's not like what you think about when you think of mullet, of just short here, super long in the back, kind of rednecky, trailer trashy, whatever you want to call it. So then I'm like, I like that. And so I grow it out a little bit longer, and I have this mullet, which is, it kind of looks like a normal haircut and it flows, and I'm loving it because it is still short in the back and it's easy to kind of deal with, and you get the length in the back. But there's also issues that go into it where, again, my hair gets kind of greasy. I don't like to use product every day. So in the back, you can kind of see it kind of parts weird and looks funny. And, if you wake up and you're not doing it, moisturizing, cleaning your hair right, it just can be messy. So these were good hair days, and I'll also show some that were bad hair days. But I liked it. I liked that kind of longer, not shocking mullet. So I did that for a little while, and I liked it. And then I didn't want to go too much longer. I was enjoying that. So I went, and then I saw this picture I was thinking about, all right, should I just, go a little shorter or cut it? And I saw the picture of Leonardo DiCaprio, and I always loved that haircut that he had in The Departed. It was just a short cut, but it was a little shorter in the back and then a little bit longer, and he just looked kind of cool, kind of like a punk. And I was like, man, I kind of want to cut all this shit off because it's been a year or two, and just have that cool Leo punk look. I'm going to get a fucking piercing or something. I was just in that zone. And I go to the barber, and I'm not really sure, but I'm like, all right, let's just give it a cut and go a little bit shorter. I kind of want a seed was planted of, can I merge them? Can I put the Leo cut on the front and keep the length? So I kind of pussy out, and I tell her to go shorter, and she goes kind of shorter. And then I get this, which I'll show here. And then I'm like, that's fine. It's still cool. I still like that hairstyle. I like how it looks. I liked it a little bit longer for that version, like the Lethal Weapon version. And she went a little bit shorter, and I was like, cool. But then I just was, had kind of a epiphany. And I was like, no, I want to try it. I want to do the Leo in the front, and then I'll try keeping the length. And so the next day or two, I just try to do it myself because it's hard to describe the Leo. It's like whenever I tell a barber, hey, shorter in the back, longer in the front, they do some weird fucking hipster bullshit. So I'm like, I'm going to do it myself because I have the clippers and I can kind of do it. So I shorten it. I keep the length and I shorten it. And here's what that looks like. And I think I did it twice, and I kind of cleaned it up, and then I took pictures. So this is what that, trying to kind of go for the short Leo Departed on the front and length in the back. And it's not bad, and I like it. But whenever I see pictures of the back of my hair, I see the kind of weird fucking part. I just have a weird part, and I could moisturize better and make it and have better hair days. And that's when it feels good, when my hair is soft and feels good and clean and the right, I get 2 or 3 at the most days a week where I'm like, yes, feels good, it's flowing. And the other days it's kind of messy and it's kind of difficult and the back looks a little nappy or whatever. And then I don't know why, but I have this, this is starting to feel like a saga. Idea. Oh, I see a picture. One, I don't remember which picture it was, but a rat tail. And that, even hearing it is like a rat. Well, no, I can't do that. And I see somebody, it might have been Shia LaBeouf's or this kid's. Here's some pictures I'll show you. And that planted a seed of, I don't have to have all the length. I can get the Leo cut short everywhere, but just at the bottom have a little bit of length. And I'm like, okay, so this is growing on me. And I'm like, but I don't really like just the rat tail straight down the back. And so I just was thinking, all right, I was like, well, I just don't like how it looks. I was like, but I do like where it's just short everywhere. It looks just like a clean cut. And then you just have a little length. You just see a little rat tail. And it's not a ton of hair. It's just the bottom. So everything's short except for this little strand in the back. And I'm like, I want that. And I want it off to the side. I don't want it down the middle. So I want it to just kind of come off to the side. And then I'm kind of looking around and I'm just like, that's it. That's fucking it. And then I also am remembering, didn't Obi-Wan Kenobi or some shit have a rat tail? and the worst Star Wars movie with that Anakin character. And they had him, the Padawan Braid, I later learned. So that's not what kind of triggered it for me. But then I was like, oh yeah, they have this fucking weird one down their side. And apparently, now I know that you're a Padawan when you have it, and then when you become a Jedi, it cut that shit off.
Doubly I do, Jedi, Knight of the Republic.
Not that I don't even care that much about Star Wars, but so I'm like, all right, so maybe I'll try one there, but I really want the side rat tail. So then I do it both. I create my own invention. I can't find it anywhere, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to try have that and I'll do this and we'll see which one I keep, or maybe I'll keep them both. But again, I don't want to go to a barber and be like, I want some kind of like left here rat tail and like kind of micromanage and pick at them. So I'm like, I got to do it my fucking self again. So I get all the equipment and I tie this off and I'll show you. Oh, one thing I missed is I thought I could do it I was going to be like, oh, you know what? I don't have to worry about it being nappy or all this shit. I could just put it in a ponytail at lower at the bottom because my hair's not that long. And I do that, but I fucking don't like the way a ponytail looks on a guy. I don't know why. And I just bunch it and I was like, I don't want to grow this shit out. I don't like having a ponytail. I just think it looks weird. And, you know, shocking that I like a rat tail, not a ponytail. I just don't like how it just man buns where it was. And maybe I would get used to it. But I don't know. I just didn't like that. But I tried, and maybe that's what got me going of like, I don't like the man bun, but the idea is there. And then I come to the rat tail or something like that. But anyway, so then I try it on my own and I get all these like separation things for hair and rubber bands and I kind of segment out what I want here and I do it here and I put all these pieces and I just fucking go and it's really hard because I don't have a girlfriend and I have like a mirror and I'm like sectioning it and cleaning it as good as I can and I'm just going and I did pretty good and this is what it looks like. And then I go to work and they're like, what the fuck is that? My coworkers, traditional people, it's fine. It's like shocking. And it was also kind of a mess, like you see. I was like, well, I'm doing whatever. I don't care. And then I'm going to go fix it. At the barber, I want them to braid it because I can't braid. So anyway, that day I walk past the barber and I go and I'm like, hey, so I try to do this thing, but I need it cleaned up and braided. And one of them was like, huh, what are you trying to do? And the other one was like, oh, that's awesome. I do braids. And she was all excited. And she was like, oh, this is so fun because usually I just get the same fucking haircut over and over. But she was like creative and so she liked it. And I was like, yeah. And so I got even more into it. And so she did this final product. She braided this one and this one, which is exactly what I wanted in my vision. And now we'll kind of see what happens. And I just like having that little bit of edge, that little bit of length that you see, but having all the hair back there got a little messy. And again, I still liked the long, like kind of long in the front, kind of just you wouldn't really notice it mullet, like 90s cop hair or whatever, like Mel Gibson or Snake from Escape from LA or whatever that movie was. So I still like that. I might be one day to do that again. But then this one's fun. I get the clean cut DiCaprio with a little bit of this, keep the length in the edge with the little thing. And we'll see. Maybe I'll become a Jedi and cut this one off. I don't know. I want them to be longer too because right now they're so short. I think it'd be cool to have one comes down and there's one on the side here. So that was my length or my trip through figuring out what hairstyle I wanted. And the funny part is because I'm a property manager, so I have just a normal job. I'm not like, pretty traditional coworkers and whatnot. But I like to do my own thing. And it's funny, not just coworkers, but just people in general. Even though I've only had this like a week, they see it and they're like offended. And it's not like, if somebody doesn't like it, it's fine. I don't like that. I go, you're like 99% of the people. But the ones that are offended, like, no, you cannot, don't do that, stop, I hate that, get that, don't do this, I'm helping you. Fine, but when they do that every fucking day, every time, then it's like, all right, you don't like it, fair enough. It's just those ones get annoying. But yeah, that's it. And it's kind of like I wouldn't have gotten here. I couldn't have just done this, I don't think, one day and be like, give me a rat tail and a Padawan braid. But because I was like, ooh, modern mullet, cool, it kind of dipped me into that. And then I was like, well, let's try the mullet because I like to try things. And again, I like having short hair, easy to manage, but I like length. And it worked out. I loved it. And I still love that. And then I was like, oh, being in that made me like slowly more comfortable too, because people do think it's weird, and your dad and your mom's gonna be like, and your coworkers, and it's like, whatever. And we live in the real world, and so it's always, that's not professional, that's not clean cut. And I am the COO of a property management company, a pretty big one. But who cares? It's just fucking hair. If you like it, try it out. I never really tried this shit as a kid, and now I'm like, ooh, that's kind of style, and so I try that shit out. Whatever. And then if you don't like it, grow it out, change. But it's fun to experiment and try stuff. I maybe will pierce my ear. Little things, just don't go crazy. But it was like a slow, circle down the rabbit hole of, oh, that's kind of cool. Ooh, what about this? Oh, okay. And also getting comfortable with just, I guess, nobody likes this, and being okay with not taking things personal of like, all right, you don't like it. Cool. Some jokes are, if you give me a funny joke of the rat tail, I'm all on board. But if all you are is just like, no, every single day, nah, don't like it, you're stupid, dumb, and personally offended, it gets annoying, but whatever. So it's a slow build into not taking it personally and being a little more confident in it. Enjoying it, just figuring out what I like and not based on, is it like socially acceptable or do other people like it? People don't like the mullet in this, and I'm not doing it to make a statement. I just found it interesting and liked the aesthetic look of it. And same with this shit. So, yeah, you can kind of see it here. Girls don't like boys, girls like cars and money. Apparently you can't make a YouTube video unless you have a little warm light in the background. You gotta light yourself, and then unless you have a warm little bullshit light in the back, you're not allowed to be, nope, you can't be on YouTube. Anyway, so, oh god, that was really long. But, that's it, man. That's the journey.